It's a big day for some brand new tariffs. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, April 2nd. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. President Donald Trump has called it Liberation Day. This afternoon, he will unveil comprehensive new tariffs on goods imported into the U.S. The president has already imposed new tariffs on cars and on many goods from China, Mexico, and Canada. But the ones set to be announced today are expected to be bigger and broader. They could include tariffs of roughly 20% on goods from almost all nations. Trump says they're designed to spur a renaissance in domestic manufacturing and to raise tax revenue. But many economists warn that Trump is steering the U.S. economy towards slower growth and higher prices. And today's actions won't just affect the U.S. They could upend global trade. Leaders in Asia and Europe are bracing for the economic impact and are preparing to fire back with their own tariffs. Number 2. A liberal candidate won a high-stakes race for Wisconsin's Supreme Court. The contest to fill a seat on the state's top court was the most expensive court race in U.S. history. It cost more than $100 million. That's nearly double the past record, and it puts it in line with top Senate races. More than $20 million of that came from top Trump advisor Elon Musk and groups affiliated with him. The leader of Tesla and SpaceX even handed out cash prizes to generate interest in the race. But it wasn't enough. Susan Crawford was projected to win the open seat, ensuring liberals will keep their 4-3 majority. She spoke to her supporters last night and took a shot at Musk.
As a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world. For justice in Wisconsin. And we won!
Meanwhile, in Florida, 2 candidates backed by Trump won special elections to fill vacant seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. But Republican margins of victory in each district were notably smaller than when Trump carried both by more than 30 percentage points in November. Number 3 is a Post exclusive. A top Trump official used his personal Gmail account for government communications. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz was already trying to manage his way out of a crisis. He was the official who accidentally invited a journalist into a group chat on the encrypted messaging app Signal, where military plans were being discussed. Now there are new revelations about his team's security. The Post reported that members of Trump's National Security Council, including Waltz, conducted government business over Gmail. Gmail is a far less secure method of communication than Signal. One Waltz aide used the email service for highly technical conversations with colleagues at other agencies. Experts say the use of personal email, even for unclassified materials, is risky. That's because of the high value that foreign intelligence services place on the communications and schedules of senior government officials. Senator Cory Booker broke the modern record for the longest speech from the Senate floor. That's number 4. At 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday, New Jersey Democrat Cory Booker took to the Senate floor. He stayed there for 25 hours and 5 minutes, other than a few brief and necessary breaks. Booker said he wanted to disrupt the normal business of the Senate to protest against Trump's policies. Obviously, we can't play you the whole thing, but here's a little snippet of what Booker had to say.
I don't understand Donald Trump. I really don't. There are going to be PhD students writing about him for generations. He'll love that in heaven. He'll look down and say, I'm so happy people are talking about me. But I will tell you this, I love great presidents. I love that Lincoln said, with malice towards none, with charity towards all. But I hear Donald Trump say, with malice towards everybody that does not tell me how great I am. And charity, I don't know if he understands that.
Booker's speech surpassed the previous record of just over 24 hours. That was set in 1957 by South Carolina Senator and segregation advocate Strom Thurmond. He held the floor for more than a day to stop the passage of the Civil Rights Act. Booker said he wasn't there because of Thurmond's speech to break the record, but despite it. He is the first African American to serve as a U.S. Senator for New Jersey. The Justice Department said it will seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. That's our fifth story. 26-year-old Mangione is charged in the fatal shooting of healthcare executive Brian Thompson in Manhattan in December. After Thompson's death, Mangione gained widespread and sometimes controversial attention. Some assailed the healthcare industry and offered him messages of support. President Trump criticized this positive response in December, calling it a sickness. An indictment has not yet been unsealed in Mangione's federal case. He's also facing state charges. But in an unusual move yesterday, Attorney General Pam Bondi said she had directed federal prosecutors to seek a death sentence. She characterized the killing as an act of political violence. This is the first time in the second Trump administration that the Justice Department will pursue capital punishment. Number 6. Actor Val Kilmer has died at 65. Kilmer was once called the unsung leading man of his generation. He portrayed Batman, Elvis Presley, and Jim Morrison. He also starred opposite Tom Cruise in Top Gun as Iceman, returning for the sequel in 2022. And he played the dangerous and drunk Doc Holliday, a fan-favorite gunfighter in the 1993 Western Tombstone.
I'm your huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
A decade ago, Kilmer had throat cancer. He recovered, but it caused him to lose his natural voice. Following surgery in 2015, he had to use AI technologies to recreate his projection levels and emotion in his roles. The AP reported that he died yesterday from pneumonia. He was surrounded by family and friends at home in Los Angeles. And at number 7, a baby pygmy hippo made her debut in a Virginia zoo. Pygmy hippos are considered an endangered species. There are fewer than 2,500 of them in the wild. But in zoos, some of them are rising to stardom. That includes Moo Dang, who became an internet sensation for her shimmering wrinkles and sassy attitude. And now, Virginia has a baby pygmy hippo of its own. Poppy is 4 months old. She spent the winter indoors at Metro Richmond Zoo with her mother to escape the cold. But on Friday, she ventured outside for the first time. She and her mother have enjoyed soaking up the sun and splashing in a pool. Zoo visitors can see them up close. So if you go check her out, let me know if you think Poppy has what it takes to become the next Moo Dang. All right, you're all caught up. If you're a fan of the podcast, first of all, thanks so much for listening. We think The 7 is a great way to stay on top of a busy and often chaotic news cycle. If you agree, you should share the podcast with a friend today, someone who only has a few minutes to get caught up, or someone who can't bear to spend longer than that on the news. Even better, you can leave us a nice rating or review wherever you're listening. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.
I'm Robin Gavon, and I'm the senior critic at large for The Washington Post. I write about politics and race and the arts. You know, there's so much information and misinformation coming at people. And for me, a critic's job is to really cut through that and attempt to direct people towards what is of value. Subscribers are definitely the most engaged, and they're the ones that I feel like I'm most often having a conversation with. People who are really engaged in our culture and engaged in civic life in a way that can be really transformative. When you subscribe to The Washington Post, you support this kind of journalism. Learn more at subscribe.washingtonpost.com. I'm Robin Gavon, and I'm one of the people behind the Post.